Hi Scorpio, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for the end of January. I hope everybody's well. I want to take a quick second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Scorpio, so guys, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, get in where you fit in, even if it's on the other side. But as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Scorpio? All right, Scorpio, you're starting out with the Ace of Wands in the reverse. You have the Knight of Swords, and we have the King of Cups. So I do feel like you're in love with somebody. There's passion, there's love here. It could require you to end something else. There's some sort of a truth that has come out. Either you've delivered this truth or someone has given you the truth. It may have created an ending because that whatever that truth was stung a little bit. Okay, it needed to be said. It was said, but it might not have been said in the best of ways. And I do feel like whatever this is, these are feelings that have been long submerged. So let me see who's in your energy. Show me who's in Scorpio's energy. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the Five of Wands reversed. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. You could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we have the Four of Wands. So this person that's in your energy, I do feel like they're trying to avoid conflict. They're definitely trying to avoid conflict with you. I also feel like this is somebody who could be a little angry. So they're, you know, whatever this conversation was, this person likely withdrew. They may have like even temporarily kind of cut you out because they are angry. They don't want to argue, right? But there's this very cutting energy and it's this cold energy. There's changes here that this person is resisting. They're resistant to change. With the Four of Wands, you may be married to this person or in a long-term situation, or this person could be eyeing you as being somebody that they want to be in, you know, in a deeper connection with. Let me see. Show me the energy between Scorpio and this person. Six of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, this is somebody where things were not successful. Something here has reached a level of no success. And I feel like there was conflict. There was an argument that occurred. There were sharp words. I feel like it ended this connection, and now this person is kind of in avoidance mode. But you're both agreeing that, you know, the way things are currently are not successful. Let me see what is affecting the connection. The Strength card in reverse. Sign of Leo. It's definitely bringing up fears. This person is trying to find the courage to actually come towards you and talk to you. I feel like you're the one who told this person something, or you delivered a truth. You were very open and very honest about something. It caused a big conflict and ended this connection. And then this person pulled back. But it took a lot for you to get there, because the way things are was like one of the worst fears that you may have had. So let me see the outcome. Or you may have recognized that it was a fear for them. Yeah, I feel like you're married to this person, or you're in some of you are married, because with the Justice in the reverse, this is things, this could be legal issues. This could be moving towards something legal. It could also be, you know, spiritual court for that matter. I do feel like that the person in your energy feels like they were not treated justly. They were not treated correctly. And there's definitely an imbalance here. There's definitely something that occurred that was unjust. Now, it could be legal. This could also be spiritual court, though. But it's just, there's not an equal give and take in this connection for sure. And the two of you are not seeing eye to eye. So bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot in reverse. Now you could be dealing with a Cancer sign or a Libra sign. Very strong Libra, actually. But with the Chariot in reverse, that's stuck energy. That's things not really moving forward. And I can see why, because this person is feeling avoidant. They're avoiding conflict. They're avoiding communication. So things are not moving forward, but I'm not sure you want them to, because with the King of Cups here, there's something about love that, you know, is in your energy. And it's long submerged emotions that you finally came out and said, hey, this is how I feel. So let's clarify. Let me see why the Ace of Wands is in reverse. Oh, there it is. There it is. There was a new beginning. You took a risk. You could have had like a one-night stand, or you could have had, because there's something about sexual energy here. Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups. So you had options. You had options is what this is telling me. Now, you may very well find yourself on the opposite side. So if your energy matches this other side, get in where you fit in. But what this is showing me is that, Scorpio, you ran up on somebody that you developed emotions for. These emotions were submerged for quite some time, because there was a lot of confusion about this as well. It could have led to something sexual. There's definitely a new beginning that you're taking a risk towards, you're wanting to take a risk towards, and you feel like this is your person, your equal, the person you're supposed to be with. But I also feel like there was a lot of confusion in your energy here, because it appears that this person in your energy is somebody you were already in a connection with. Let me see why the Knight of Swords is here. The Sun and the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, you were keeping this to yourself. You weren't being open about it. There's an energy, some of you were outright lying about it. Now, it's interesting to me that the Sun spun around and around and around before it finally came out in the upright. And why is that? Well, because the Sun is the happiest card in the deck. And if it's spinning around, it tells me that you kept this to yourself because you didn't know if this was what was going to make you happy. You did not want to be, open about this until you knew that this was the direction you wanted to go. And I do feel like you got the clarity that you needed. You do feel like this is going to make you happy. You do want to have a new beginning elsewhere. And I do feel that, that's when you said, okay, I have to be open about this. I have to be honest. I have to bring clarity to the situation. Why is the King of Cups here? Why is the King of Cups? Yep, there it is. Page of Cups. It's a new person. And the Nine of Swords. There was a lot of anxiety about this, though. I don't feel like this is something you did lightly. I feel like you gave a lot of thought to this. You lost sleep. There was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of confusion about, this. But I feel like you met somebody here and you fell for that person. There's definitely true emotion here. I feel like you submerged those emotions for quite some time trying to figure out what you needed to do. And then at some point you said, you know what, I have to just put it on the line. But there was a lot of anxiety about it. I don't feel like, you're heartless towards this person, but I don't feel like this is the person you want to be with. Let me look at their energy. Why is the Five of Wands in reverse? All right, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed, and we have the Devil, Capricorn energy. So this is telling me that this person, they're very upset. They're feeling some kind of way right now. They're not putting any effort into, trying to make this successful or trying to resolve anything here. What they're doing is they're avoiding. They don't want to see the details. They're probably saying, yeah, you know what, Scorpio is the most toxic person, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm seeing here is that this person also has some toxicity in their energy as well. And I do feel like part of that is avoidance. There's a lot of avoidance that I'm seeing. They may have also not been putting a lot of effort into this connection, which may have been what led to the, resulting actions. Let me see why the Queen of Swords is in reverse. I can tell you this person is big mad. Yeah, the Emperor in reverse. This person could have been very controlling. Aries energy. Judgment in reverse, and the Four of Swords. So versus this person, because they feel like they got cut out of the situation. So versus this person coming back in and making a poor judgment call here and doing something that they're going to regret, they've pulled back. They're not putting any effort into it. That's why they're avoiding, because they know that if they come in and they try to do anything with this situation, that their anger and their own toxic energy is going to overwhelm them, and they're going to do something that they're going to regret, basically. They're very angry. They're very angry. They're trying to control, the narrative, trying to control the situation, because they feel like, everything just went out of control. There's no way that the two of you are ever going to get back together, and that, it's this energy of, I'm so angry, but I don't want to do something I'm going to regret later. Let me see why the Four of Wands is here. Yeah, they're going to heal. Temperance is here, Sagittarian energy. Right now they're just hopeless. It's like they're just like exhausted. They're giving up on everything. See, they wanted to heal the relationship. They wanted to balance it out. But I feel like at this point, they realize that the trust has been broken. They feel like there's no way it can be worked out. And I do feel like they're going to move into healing their own energy. But they're definitely avoiding. But I feel like they're avoiding because they are angry. They are, afraid of doing or saying something that is going to make things even worse. Let me see the energy between Scorpio and this person. Show me the energy between Scorpio and this person. All right, we have the Strength card in reverse. That's what's affecting the connection. And we have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, you weighed up the pros and cons. What's going to happen if I stay in this relationship, or what's going to happen if I go in the direction that my heart is telling me? I do feel like there was some juggling here. That's what ended this connection. But I do also feel like you felt, when you weighed up the pros and cons, you felt like there was no road to success in this current connection, and your heart was telling you to take the risk with someone else. And so I do feel like, you had to make a decision here. Now, in their energy, they are definitely very fear-bound. They are very fear-bound, and they're in a very toxic energy here. It's related to anger. It's related to them wanting to control the situation. It's related to them wanting, justice for what has taken place. So they're going through a lot of emotions, and that's why they're being silent. That's why they're staying to themselves, because they know that if they come towards you, they're going to do things and say things that they're going to regret. Why is the Strength card in reverse? Three of Coins, Four of Wands reverse. Now they had the Four of Wands in the upright. Yeah, so I do feel like a lot of you were in a long-term relationship, or married to this person. There were things that you weren't telling them, you weren't being quite honest with, and then you decided to bring the clarity to the situation, ending the connection, which you knew it would. You could even have some fears about how this person would react if they knew the truth as well. So, and that's valid, because they do have a rather controlling and toxic energy that's present. I do feel that this person, once they get a grip of themselves, once they do some healing, they're going to be more cooperative. Right now, they're in this fear state. It's like all their fears have been realized, and they're actually afraid of what they're going to do. So I do feel like they will become more cooperative once they heal a little bit, once the shock wears off. And what are they going to be cooperative with? Well, either a divorce, or they're going to be more cooperative with the ending of this connection. Let me see the outcome. All right, we have the Queen of Wands reversed. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Coins. Yeah, I do see legal actions for those of you that are, you know, in a marriage. I see you becoming single, slowly moving forward with someone new. And with the person in your energy, this is somebody who is not going to take actions towards you. They're not going to actively participate to help, but as they heal, they're not going to actively participate towards helping to create the single energy. So if anybody's filing, it'll likely be on your side, which I do see, you know, if you're in that situation, that's what you're going to do so you can move forward. They're going to also become single, but I do feel like they're going to have to do a lot of healing here. They're going to have to do a tremendous amount of healing because this is affecting their ability to trust. It's affecting their self-esteem. And I have to say, they are extremely angry. Be very careful if you're dealing with somebody that does any type of, you know, like magic or anything like that, because Queen of Wands in reverse can indicate somebody who is doing some dark magic. So just be careful with that, especially because they also have the devil in their energy here. They could be working, you know, like some sort of magical stuff behind your back, you know. So just make sure you're protecting yourself, because this person is definitely very angry. Very angry, and it's a little bit of bitter energy here, but I do see it. I do see you moving forward very slowly with somebody else. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands in the reverse. That was your first card out. It does indicate that there is an ending here, but it was likely brought about because this connection had grown very stagnant, and, you know, at some point, you were kind of in this situation where there could have been a physical relation started with someone else. There looks like there was some juggling, and then the truth, you know, finally came out. And I do feel like there is a definite ending here of a situation that was just not moving forward in a successful manner. So let's, this looks like a very difficult, you know, situation. So, you know, for everybody involved. I'm going to pull a oracle card and see if there's any further advice for Scorpio. All right. So you have number 40. It says sweet oblivion. It's all about uncertainty, fate, and humor. It says, it's okay. I don't know what I'm doing either. So let me read that, because I can see that there is definitely a lot of uncertainty right now that's going on in this situation. All right, so your affirmation says, I am freely floating amid the beautiful cosmos, sinking into the unknown, trusting in your own free will in combination with fate, the sorceress who embraces the power within the void. Sometimes it's okay to be lost and to have no answers. Sometimes the best adventures happen when we don't know where we're going. Sometimes the greatest love is found when we aren't looking for it. Such is the power of destiny, ironic humor, the great contradictions. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like you weren't looking for this, and boom, it happened. All right. There's a choice to be made when we're floating amid the great expanse of the cosmos. Will we choose freedom, or will we choose fear? One empowers while the other disempowers. Perhaps the ultimate choice would be somewhere in the middle. This is what living with bravery means. The hero often has no idea what they're doing, yet they take on a courageous role. They meet it head on. They do the best they can with what they do know and integrate what they find out along the way. The Sweet Oblivion card reminds us that nobody really knows what they're doing. How could they? We were not given a manual for exactly what to do in our lives from moment to moment. We're just here to live, not to solve the totality of the great mystery. Rather, we're here to experience it, to evolve with it. Our human mind mistakes knowingness for safety and peace. It values cosmic order over cosmic chaos, but both are essential. When you pull the Sweet Oblivion card, it asks you not to compare yourself to others. It reminds you to not be fooled by how others may present themselves in the world. The confidence another displays means nothing about what is within them. A seemingly insecure person could have far more understanding than someone who boasts and brags. Humankind is simultaneously lost and at home within the universe. We have no idea what we're doing, only that we must evolve towards a higher state of being, that we are souls connected to one great spirit. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you, Scorpio. It's a tough situation, so I hope this gave you some clarity. If you have resonated with this, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit the hype button as well if you have that opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Scorpio, know that you are loved, and namaste.